What is this expansion called, by the way?
It's called Glory in Navori, and the theme is more or less fighting pits where some champions are invited to brawl and fight for money.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so like always, new expansion comes out for Runeterra. We have 3 champions, and I'm gonna guess how good they are. Now, last time I think I was 100%, wasn't I? I think I killed it.
Yeah, you actually did, yeah.
But this time, Runeterra did something called a rotation. Could you just describe in a very easy way for, Hearthstone viewers to understand what rotation did for Runeterra?
Hearthstone does all cards are playable from the previous 2 years, right? Like expansions that came out in the last 2 years are playable.
Yes.
For Runeterra, it's a curated list. So developers looked at all the champions, all the cards that are in the game, and they decided, yeah, this one has to go. So a lot of champion packages and problematic cards are gone. So it's a completely new game. They have something called Region Pi. I'm sure they have something similar in Hearthstone where they don't want a class like Paladin to do like sacrifice stuff like Warlock, I think.
Yeah.
And it's the same in Runeterra. For example, Lux is in Demacia region. A lot of combat, and Lux is like spell slinging. They said, hey, spell's not really Demacia thing, so we're rotating Lux. So instead she goes to Wild to live her best life there.
Is that what they called the new format, Wild?
Eternal. It's called Eternal in Runeterra. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That sounds awesome, by the way. I actually think that's really great. That also means that the average power level of Runeterra is probably significantly lower if they took out a lot of the broken cards.
Absolutely.
So this will be fun. This is the first time guessing with post rotation.
Yeah, it's going to be even harder than normal, so I don't think you're going to nail this one like last time.
All right.
But the first champion is, just like Nora, a Runeterra exclusive.
Ooh, so I'm really glad that they keep Jack. Okay, so 2 questions real fast for you. Is the coin the same concept as it is in Hearthstone?
No.
It's not. Oh,
no.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen powder kegs in Runeterra. Basically, in Runeterra, if you summon a powder keg, which is deal 1 extra damage with your next spell, and then the barrel explodes. If you summon another keg, making the stack 2, it just goes on top of the existing powder keg. And it's the same with coins. So if you have a coin in hand, and you make another coin, it just goes onto the stack. So this coin card becomes refill 1 mana, refill 2 mana, refill 3 mana, depending on how many coins you've gathered.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, that's a cool mechanic, actually. That's really nice. Now, I was going to ask you this as well. If I said the phrase, that person looks hard, does that make sense to you?
No.
Okay.
What?
Like, never mind. So this is Jack. 4-mana 4/3/4 Bilgewater. What is Brash?
I sent another image. It's fearsome for health, if you know what fearsome is.
I can only be blocked by enemies with 3 or more health. Oh, so fearsome is 2 or more attack, 3 or more attack, I think.
Yeah, 3 or more attack.
So when he strikes, he creates a coin in hand, and he levels up when you've spent 12 mana in 1 round. His upgraded version, God, see, he looks even harder in this photo. Jesus Christ. You ever played Bloodborne? He looks like he's straight out of it. 4-mana 5/6, Overwhelm, Brash again. Strike, create 2 coins in hand. When you refill mana, grant me +1/+0 for each mana refilled. Whoa. So this is kind of like a big meatball. How big of a meatball can he become? Jack, Risky Venture, 3 mana, slow spell. Deal 2 to a unit. If this kills it, create 2 coins in hand, create a Jack in your deck. Okay, so he seems like he's very, very, very based on this coin mechanic, which I don't know if that's necessarily good. If you have 5 coins on a stack, do you refill 5 mana? Is that how it works?
Yes, you refill 5 unit mana. With the coin, it's a spell. You take 1 spell mana and you can transfer that to actual unit mana to play more units.
Interesting. So I guess that's actually a really cool mechanic because it's like leveraging like spell mana in a deck that may not need it and they need to summon more minions. That's actually really, really interesting. I feel like if they made Jack into a champion, there's probably cards that also synergize with coins. So it's probably really good to get coins on your stack. Like, it's hard to really give this guy a rating without seeing the entire package.
You remember Twisted Fate? The 4-mana 2/2 that you thought was bad? That was like one of the best cards in the game, right? He's rotated. So the 4-mana slot is open in Bilgewater. Oh. Also, I'll say one thing about Brash, because you haven't really talked about that much, but it is a very good keyword because Fearsome was also a very good keyword, but it's really hard to reduce the attack of another unit. Brash, it's really easy to reduce the health on something to get Brash attacks in.
But here's the thing, Sonny. The fact that you just try to, manipulate me to say this card is good, I'm going to go with this card is bad. I'm going to go with my intuition here. I think this card's bad. I think the problem with this card, even before you have to say anything. It's just, you're so reliant on this mechanic to actually be a good card that it's probably not good enough. Even if you get like 2 regular mana from your spell mana, like, is that really worth putting this card in and putting so much effort in instead of just, you know, playing a better card? I don't think so. I'm going to go with it's mediocre.
Okay, Jack, it's kind of hard to say because he is good, but the decks that he's played in right now, yeah, I guess mediocre is a pretty fair rating for him. It's really, really hard for a 4-mana 4/5, which, by the way, is a great stat line in Runeterra, with a good keyword, with an unstrike bonus effect to be bad. But here's a problem. Ashe and LeBlanc, which is a Frostbite archetype, is really good, and they literally just freeze you all the time, and Jack cannot do anything. Yeah, at best he's mediocre because he doesn't have his own deck, really. He looks really badass, but he's no Twisted Fate, as they say.
He does look really sick, though. Yeah, badass is a synonym for hard, by the way. Exactly. He looks hard.
All right. Another one.
Sett. Okay, so fun fact. People might probably know this, but I play League of Legends. I've been actually getting more into it recently. I don't know why. I hate Sett with an absolute passion. So let's see how close he is to this the actual champion they designed. So Challenger is you get to pick the minion that defends against Sett. The first time I would drop below 1 health while attacking, give me barrier instead. You've spent 40 mana to level him up. All right, that text is very spooky. That's a very spooky text, because that basically means that he survives the first time he attacks if he was going to die, right? That's what I'm understanding. Yep. Which is very good. His level up version is a 5-mana 5/6, still a challenger. While I'm attacking, I can't take damage or die. Each round, create a showstopper in hand once you've spent 12 mana. A showstopper is 0 mana. Obliterate an enemy. Obliterate, I guess, just means absolutely decimate someone, like they just die.
Yeah, you can't revive it. Yeah.
Deal 1 to all other enemies and the enemy nexus. Okay. His spell is Sett's Facebreaker. 4 mana, stun 2 enemies and create a coin in hand. Create a Sett in your deck. So he also works with coins. Okay, that makes sense. And you give me another spell. I guess this is just going to be something more synergistic with Sett.
Yeah, I just wanted to show that Ionia also has ways to make coins. They're a little more straightforward. Bilgewater is the risk and reward region, so with Jack, very often you have to like jump through some hoops to get some coins. Sett is just like, okay, play this card, get a coin.
Okay, I mean, so here's the thing about Sett. That first text, right, like on his base champion is very, very strong. That's a that's huge. Like I'm picturing that in Hearthstone. You probably kill something and then your opponent still has to react to Sett, which is very spooky. The real question here is, how likely are you to spend 40 mana? Now, I just want to make sure that he levels up even if he's not on the board if you've spent 40 mana.
Yes.
All right, this card's broken. This card would be the best champion in the game, I would say. Maybe top 5. In a game like Runeterra, where blocking is a huge part of the game, basically having a champion that says I can't die is probably one of the best things in the metagame. Especially if the format slowed down. So I would say he's probably fantastic.
So one important thing here is rotation happens.
Right.
So before Sett, the 5-mana slot had Lee Sin, which was, I mean, I would say the most played and most consistent, like tier 1 champion. If Lee Sin was still in the game, Sett would not stand a chance, but Lee Sin got rotated. So Sett is really good, but not necessarily for all the reasons you said. He's like, if you pay 5 mana for a 4/5 that challenges, like, it's okay. Where he becomes broken is, it pains me to say that, but Karma is a champion that says when you reach 10 mana, double all your spells. And that works with the coin. So Sett is played in a deck to just stall, and then you get to turn 10 with Karma on board. You play Place Your Bets. You draw 4 cards because it doubles Place Your Bets. You get 4 coins, and then you play that coin you just got, which is 4 coins. It also gets doubled. You refill 8 mana. Now, there's another card that recalls Sett. So if you have Sett on board while you're spending all that mana, you get Showstopper, which is insane. Showstopper is ridiculous because Ionia does not get access to straight kill cards. So what happens is you get your first Showstopper, you're cheating all that mana, and then you recall Sett back to your hand, and then you play him again with all that mana you cheated, you get another Showstopper.
Ooh, that's tier 0. That has to be the best deck in the game.
It's tier 1 because there are decks that exist that just go faster because you do need to get to turn 10 with Karma. But when you do, yeah, the game's straight over. So yeah, he's really, really, really good in that deck.
He seems very toxic to play against. I will put it like that. And again, like just like the League of Legends champion, I would hate him.
It is the deck that creates the most Reddit posts, so that's a pretty good indication most of the time.
True. Ooh, Samira. Okay, I haven't really played with Samira in League.
Same. Samira and Nidalee are the only champions I have 0 mastery points on.
I actually played a lot of Nidalee.
Yeah, you sound like a Nidalee guy. I play a lot of Sett, to be honest. So.
And excuse me.
I play a lot of Sett.
In early game League of Legends, when you could build AP Nidalee and her Q did like infinite damage, that was probably the most fun I've ever had in League of Legends. That shit was fire.
Yeah, I hated that.
All right, so Samira. So Samira has a really interesting mechanic in League of Legends with her like grade system. I'm not going to go into it, but if you know, you know. So we'll see if they can copy it. 2 mana 2/3 quick attack. When I'm summoned or strike, create a flare in hand if you don't have one. Her level up is I've seen you play 6 cards, resets when you start a round with the attack token.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I've seen you play 6 cards. It literally has like the indicator like it has in League. Like it goes from
the grade system
D to S.
Oh, that's sick. Okay. A flare is 1 mana burst spell. Deal 1 to an enemy nexus. Sorry, deal 1 to the enemy nexus, or give an ally challenger this round. Okay. How good is the 1 mana to deal? I guess that's fine. And give it ally, because Noxus, if I remember correctly, Noxus is like the aggro class or the aggro region. Like they kind of want to rush you down. Yeah. Do a lot of damage to you. So I guess that's actually pretty good, because if you could challenger a block and deal more damage to the Nexus, that ends up being pretty great. So her leveled up is 2 mana 3/3 quick attack. When I'm summoned or strike, create a 0 cost flare in hand. When you play 6 cards, you rally. That's a very spicy ability. Yeah, because for 1 mana, flare's fine. 0 mana, that's pretty spicy.
So level 1 Samira only lets you have 1 flare in hand. So if you strike with level 1 Samira, you need to use the flare to get another one. Level 2 Samira lets you have as many as you want.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so and then her champion spell is Samira's All Out. 1 mana burst, give an ally +2/+0 this round. Plunder. Okay. Plunder is when you hit the Nexus.
Yeah.
So you have to hit the Nexus first, correct, to proc Plunder?
Yeah,
this round,
Plunder is active.
This round.
Yeah, this round, exactly. If you hit Plunder, or if you hit the enemy Nexus this round, Plunder is active.
Okay, give it +2/+2 instead. Ooh. I don't know how good this is realistically, because for me, it's like, how easy is it for you to play 6 cards in a single turn for Noxus, right? Because she has to be on board for that to proc to be leveled up, correct? Mm-hmm. How likely are you to play 6 cards in a single turn? That feels like it's very slow. Unless this is like a combo deck, but I don't know if Noxus is really the deck you want to play for combo. Like, just comparing this to Sett, like I think Sett's just a better champion. I'm just trying to think of like how useful actually is this. I don't know. I'm leaning towards she isn't great. Like I feel like the problem with like 2 mana 2/2 quick attack though is good. Like that seems like it would be fine. I think that you would probably play that in Noxus. It just seems like it's fine. Like, do you really care about the level up? Like maybe you just care about like she's just a fine card, and then if you get the level up, that's good. But is there better cards? Maybe. I'm leaning towards somewhere in the middle here. Like it's tough to me to actually gauge how hard it is to play 6 cards in a turn. I'm gonna go with she's probably fine. I don't expect her to be meta at all, but I also don't expect her to be like awful. I think it just as a card, she's okay. Like maybe she pops off every once in a while, but I wouldn't expect her to pop off very easily. I think she's fine. Yeah, she's probably okay.
Okay. Samira's broken.
Oh. So before you even say that, is it easy? Is it just easy to play 6 cards in a turn?
Yeah.
See, it's hard for me to really gauge how hard it is to play 6 cards. That's where I'm making that very clear. Very clear.
Yeah. So her level up is good, it's great, but in Runeterra, if you play a card and you get another card in your hand, that's usually like already a good card. The real reason that she is incredibly hard to deal with is All Out. Her champion spell is turbo busted. It's probably one of the strongest cards they've ever played. And because it's her champion spell, you get access to like 5 copies. And here's another fun thing. She plays in a deck with Bilgewater that has cards that generate more 1-cost spells. So sometimes you just get blown out by like a million All Outs. And yeah, it's like a non-game. There's nothing you can do. I'm gonna show you 2 cards for a little bit of context. So Inferna, yeah, lets you draw cards, and Shelly lets you just buff up your cards as you sling spells.
Man, Inferna is actually insane. That's actually
nobody rated that card highly in the reveal season, but it is very, very, very good.
That's a really good card if you're already fighting for board and you're winning the board. Fleet Admiral Shelly. What the hell is that? Fizz when he's a kid? What is this thing? 5 mana 3/3. You play 2 spells each round. Ew. Yeah, with the coins and like I guess her spell, that's actually insane.
So the play pattern here is very often you pass turn 1, you pass turn 2, you play Samira on turn 3. You don't do anything with her. because you want to like make your opponent think that you have all out. So they try to remove Samira. You play Flare. You deal 1 to their nexus. You play all out. She gets +2/+2. Turn 4 you play Inferno. Turn 5 Shelly, and then you just start slinging all your spells. Your board is huge. You buff it all, and then you just kill them with elusive damage, and there's nothing they can do because you keep drawing and you keep buffing.
That sounds fun. That sounds awesome. Yeah. That sounds like I love this game. Interesting, dude. I would have never thought that Samira would have been tier 0.
Very, very good. Like, she is so she warped the entire meta around her. So she was like tier 1, like tier 0. And now every other deck that's playable is like, okay, well, this deck beats Samira and it can do its own thing. And if it doesn't do one of those things, then it's a bad deck. You need to be able to beat Samira or your deck is not worth playing.
Interesting. Yeah, especially because it's like, is it more of an aggressive deck?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so yeah, that usually warps the meta even harder because you have to be faster. How's Nora doing, by the way? Is she insane yet?
Yeah, she got nerfed. Or her champion spell got nerfed.
Oh, did she? Let's, because I every time I do one of these videos, I think about when I said like Nora has the ability just to be absolutely turbo broken, and I think about it often. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I wonder how.
Yeah, so that did happen. What happened with Nora is that she was not played in the archetype that cares about the portals. She was played in control decks that usually like don't have board presence. So what happens is you play like all the removal, like some top end, and then you play Nora to just constantly cheat out units onto the board.
So this game sounds like Hearthstone more and more every time I talk to you.
Okay, the more RNG, the more it's like Hearthstone, right?
Yeah. Oh, dude, RNG makes the game fun, right? For sure.
No, I agree most of the time.
For sure. Yeah. There's a healthy limit of how much RNG should be in the game. All right, Sonny, thank you. Appreciate it as always. These are fun.
Pleasure.
Hope Runeterra is great. Maybe you should play a better game. All right, I'm ending the video there.
Play Runeterra.